There's a quiet truth that few people talk about in today's world. A beautiful life does not always come from a big income. In fact, many of the happiest people on this planet live modestly. They don't have overflowing bank accounts, expensive cars, or luxury vacations. Yet they carry something far more valuable: peace of mind, gratitude in their hearts, and the freedom to live life on their own terms. Money, of course, is important. It pays for our shelter, our food, our medicine, and the little comforts that make each day easier. But when we start believing that more money automatically means more happiness, we begin chasing a dream that never ends. There will always be someone with a bigger house, a newer phone, or a higher salary. If happiness is tied to comparison, it will forever slip through our fingers. But when happiness is tied to meaning, it begins to bloom, even on a small income. A beautiful life starts with a shift in mindset. It begins the moment we stop asking, "How much do I earn?" and start asking, "How well do I live?" The art of living well is not about adding more, but about needing less. Less clutter, less noise, less worry. It's about simplicity, intention, and appreciation. Think about the people who live peacefully on very little. The retired teacher tending her small garden, the old couple who share morning tea on the porch, or the craftsman who takes pride in repairing what others throw away. They may not have wealth in the traditional sense, but they are rich in time, calm, and purpose. Their joy is not purchased, it is practiced. The first step to turning a small income into a beautiful life is understanding what truly matters. Ask yourself, what do I genuinely need to feel content? Most people realize that the answer is surprisingly simple. Good health, enough food, safe shelter, meaningful relationships, and a sense of purpose. Once these needs are met, chasing more rarely brings deeper happiness. It only brings noise, competition, and fatigue. So how do we start creating beauty from modest means? We begin with gratitude, the quiet appreciation for what we already have. Gratitude changes everything. It transforms the simple into the sacred, the ordinary into the extraordinary. When you wake up and feel thankful for your bed, your morning coffee, or the laughter of your loved ones, you start living abundantly even if your income is small. Because true abundance is not about having everything you want. It's about recognizing how much you already have. Gratitude teaches us to see the world differently. The same house that once felt small now feels cozy. The same meal that once seemed simple now feels nourishing. The same job that once felt ordinary becomes meaningful because it provides stability and purpose, and slowly life begins to soften. The anxiety of chasing more fades, and in its place grows peace, a kind of quiet satisfaction that no amount of money can buy. The second step is simplifying your life. Simplicity is not about deprivation. It's about clarity. It's choosing what matters and letting go of what doesn't. In a world that constantly tells us to buy more, own more, and upgrade more, simplicity is an act of courage. It's saying, "I have enough." It's realizing that joy often hides in plain sight, in the scent of a home-cooked meal, in a shared story, in the sound of rain against the window. When you simplify, you save money naturally, but more importantly, you gain time, energy, and peace. A small home is easier to clean. A smaller wardrobe is easier to manage. and fewer possessions mean fewer worries. You begin to notice how light your life feels when it's no longer weighed down by excess. You realize that your worth is not measured by what you own, but by how you live. The third step is to spend wisely and with intention. Every dollar has a story. Instead of letting your money disappear into habits or impulse purchases, guide it with purpose. Ask yourself, does this expense bring me closer to the life I want, or does it distract me from it? When you start aligning your spending with your values, your small income begins to stretch farther than you ever imagined. Spend on experiences, not just things. A modest picnic in the park, a walk with a friend, a visit to a loved one. These cost little but fill the heart completely. Things fade. Memories grow richer with time. A person who spends wisely is not poor. They are simply intentional. They've learned that money is not a master to serve, but a tool to shape a meaningful life. The fourth step is embracing contentment. Contentment doesn't mean giving up ambition. It means finding peace in the present while working calmly toward the future. It's about enjoying the chapter you're in while trusting that more good pages are yet to come. When you live with contentment, envy disappears. You stop measuring your worth against others. You find joy in your own rhythm, your small victories, your quiet routines, your personal progress. You start realizing that life is not a race. It's a journey. And on this journey, happiness is not found at the finish line. It's found in every step you take with awareness and gratitude. Another secret to a beautiful life on a small income is creativity. When resources are limited, the human spirit becomes inventive. You learn to fix instead of replace, to repurpose instead of discard. You might start growing your own herbs, cooking more at home, or creating handmade gifts for family. These acts of creativity not only save money, they give you pride, skill, and a sense of accomplishment. They turn daily life into art. People often underestimate the joy of creating something with their own hands. When you cook a meal from scratch, when you make a small repair, when you nurture a plant and watch it grow, these small acts remind you that abundance can be made, not just bought. You realize that a life of creation is far richer than a life of consumption. And then comes the most profound truth of all. A beautiful life is not about how much you own, but how deeply you connect with people, with nature, and with your purpose. A strong community is worth more than a fat wallet. When you share time, stories, and kindness with others, your world expands. Generosity doesn't require wealth. It requires willingness. Even a small gesture like sharing a meal, listening to someone's troubles, or helping a neighbor can bring joy that money can't measure. There's an old saying, the more you give, the richer you become. And it's true, because giving fills the heart. It reminds us that happiness multiplies when it's shared. People who live simply often understand this better than anyone else. They may not have much, but they have love, and love is the greatest form of wealth. To turn a small income into a beautiful life, you must also learn to slow down. The modern world runs fast, faster than our hearts can handle. We rush to earn, to buy, to achieve, and we forget to simply live. But slowing down changes everything. When you eat slowly, food tastes better. When you walk slowly, you notice the beauty around you. When you breathe slowly, your mind begins to calm. A slower life doesn't mean a lazy life. It means a deliberate one, where every moment has meaning. And in that slowness, you find peace that money cannot purchase. You begin to realize that the best moments in life, sunrise, laughter, affection, prayer, gratitude, it cost nothing at all. Another gentle truth is that health is the greatest form of wealth. No income, large or small, can buy the peace that comes from good health. Take care of your body. Eat simply, walk daily, rest enough, and let go of unnecessary stress. When you are healthy, your world feels lighter and your needs shrink. Suddenly, what you earn is enough because you don't need to spend on constant recovery from exhaustion. A peaceful mind and a strong body are the most beautiful luxuries in life. And then there's purpose, the quiet fire that gives meaning to each day. Purpose is not found in paychecks. It's found in contribution. Ask yourself, what can I give? What can I create? Whose life can I touch today? Even with little money, you can live with great purpose. Teach someone what you know. Listen to those who feel unheard. Share stories or simply be kind. When your life becomes useful, it automatically becomes beautiful. In time, you'll notice a deep transformation. The envy that once haunted you begins to fade. You stop comparing and start appreciating. You stop longing and start living. Your days feel full even if your wallet doesn't. Because beauty isn't about abundance, it's about awareness. A small income can create a big life when it's guided by wisdom. You may not dine in fancy restaurants, but you can share laughter around a humble table. You may not travel the world, but you can explore the richness of your own neighborhood. You may not have much to show, but you have so much to feel, and feeling deeply, that's what makes life truly rich. Think of the sunset, free for everyone, priceless to the soul. Think of music, of laughter, of friendship, of faith, all beyond the reach of money, yet the foundation of happiness. When you start seeing life through this lens, you understand that you were never poor. You were simply distracted by the wrong definition of wealth. Many people spend their whole lives trying to make a living but forget to make a life. A small income reminds us to make a life slow, intentional, grounded, and grateful. It reminds us that the true treasures are invisible: peace, love, and time. Because one day when you look back, it won't be the brand of your car or the size of your house that you remember. It will be the evenings you spent with loved ones, the stories you shared, the sunsets you watched, and the calmness you carried inside your heart. So yes, you can turn a small income into a beautiful life. You can do it by redefining what wealth means to you. You can do it by simplifying, by giving, by slowing down. You can do it by loving more, needing less, and appreciating all that is already yours. Remember this: money can build walls, but love builds bridges. Money can fill your shelves, but gratitude fills your soul. Money can buy comfort, but it cannot buy contentment. Contentment must be cultivated, day by day, choice by choice. Start where you are. Look around and count your blessings. Turn off the noise that tells you you're behind. You're not behind, you're exactly where your story begins. Every step toward simplicity, gratitude, and kindness is a step toward beauty. The art of living beautifully on a small income is not a secret. It is an ancient wisdom, whispered through generations, taught by elders and proven by lives that shine quietly without luxury. They teach us that joy comes not from what we hold, but from what we release. Not from what we earn, but from what we cherish. And so, as the sun sets each day, take a moment to pause. Breathe, smile, feel thankful. For you already possess the greatest wealth of all, the ability to find joy in the life you have, right here, right now. Because in the end, a beautiful life is not built by what you own. It is built by how deeply you love, how gently you live, and how gratefully you see the world around you. For more videos, subscribe my channel.